Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is session 3 of Vaesen, and so far I haven't scared anyone away despite my best efforts, but we are still young in this campaign. Welcome to Jim, Jared, Blake, and Sharon, who continue the wild ride, as it were. So, without further ado, let's start. So, as I mentioned last session, you've been in the house now for 3 weeks, and in that time, Jim, you've been sourcing potential locations for a clinic, either in the house or maybe nearby.
Yeah, as long as no one yells at me, I was sort of planning in the new property, but depends on how against the rules of society that is.
So they're not outside the rules of society. After all, Parley Street was quite popular and well known in this time era. However, the house, why did you have room at the house? You just haven't quite found the right room that gives you all those warm and fuzzies that you go, yes, this is a great clinic room.
Yep,
So
yep.
your search continues. Savino, that attic space upstairs, have you taken charge of that now? Is that your little inner sanctum?
I think so, because if it's warmer than my bedroom, then I'll sleep up there. I'm sick of having a cold room.
Yes, you've noticed that. That's something. Yes, your fireplaces are smoky and it's colder and everything is just off.
Over time, I'll be the thing in the attic. That's okay. I can live with that.
You've been a little button attic. Adelaide, you being the young lady of wealth and stature that you are, I'm assuming you are going out making those connections?
Yep, absolutely. Getting out, attending all the salons and parties and, receptions and things that are going. Yeah.
So you start to develop a bit of a reputation in the city of Venice. A good reputation, a solid reputation, nothing to be sneered at.
Nothing too scandalous. Yeah.
No. There are, you pop up in a couple of gossip rags here and there, but so do most socialites. And so far, it's all been flattering. They're all spoken about what wonderful gowns you've been wearing and how your decorum is been pristine and how you may have possibly flirted a little bit with the local, one of the sons of the Doge, but that's about it. It's all pretty above board at this point.
Yep.
And Miss Agatha, I'm assuming you've taken charge of the library. She's taken charge of the library and is cataloguing thousands and thousands of books. Yeah. So, Sabrina, do you go and sometimes spend time in the library, or are you deliberately? Yeah.
Yeah, at least once a day I have a look. I'm a writer after all, so it's just have a look around and try and find, okay, this section's useful to me, this section isn't. Relax in there.
Cool. Yeah, so as I said, 3 weeks have gone past, and then you're all doing your things. And then out of nowhere, you hear on the front door. It's a soft, tentative tap. And after a moment of silence, it's a bit more confident. There's someone at your door.
I'll. Well, what time of day is this? In the morning, or?
I'd say it's probably after lunch.
Doesn't actually matter. I definitely have a cup of tea, basically, no matter what time of day it is. So
you're English. It's
surgically attached to me, so I'll take my cup with me and I'll head to the front door.
You go and you open the front door, and you see a man standing in front of you. He's in his mid-30s, so your age-ish. He's wearing corduroy pants, brown corduroy pants. He's wearing a linen shirt with a vest, and he has a little cap, which, as you open the door, he pulls the cap off and he kind of holds it in his hands, and just his his bearing and his pose. He's just a bit nervous and a bit tense. And he goes, "Scusa, signore. Scusa. I apologize for bothering you at this hour. But I'm hoping you can help me with something."
Oh, afternoon. No bother. Yes, of course. Would you like to come in?
For a minute, sir, for a minute. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Come this way, say. And I'll lead him in, shut the door, and then lead him to like the dining area, offer him a seat.
Yeah. As he
if-
kind of, yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say if what's her name? Artemisia is around. Are they around?
Yeah.
Most of the time, yeah. Artemisia, could you please get the man a tea or?
Yes, she comes forward out of the kitchen and, "Oh, we have visitors. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the door. Whoops." And she starts speaking in rapid fire Italian. You're kind of piecing it together. You've been in Italy now for 3 weeks. You kind of know some of the basic words, and you're kind of piecing together that she's asking what he would like. "What would you like to drink?" And he goes, "Niente, nothing, grazie, thank you." And she disappears for a couple minutes. And yeah, he looks at you and he looks around the room. You can see him kind of just looking at the room, at the construction of it, at the wood paneling, at the beautiful wooden table. And this is stuff he's not used to, hasn't seen much of. And, he doesn't look wealthy. He looks okay, but he doesn't look wealthy. So this villa, for him, is a strange and very special thing for him to look at. So he's quite entranced by everything. And then after a minute, he kind of turns his head back and goes, I'm sorry. Please excuse me. I'm Alonso Bernardis. Thank you for agreeing to see me." And at that juncture, Artemisia walks in. She puts down a little plate of cold cuts like prosciutto and your salami and a bit of cheese, and there's even a carafe with some wine. And then she slips away.
So, Mr. Was it Bernardis?
Bernardis, yep.
Yeah, Bernardis. If this is a dumb question, let me know. But how did you hear to come here? How did you know to come here for help? I assure you came to the right place. I'm just curious.
No, it's okay. It's okay. My father used to tell me a story. He said, if there was ever trouble that no one else could handle, to go to the Villa of the Lights. And the light has been lit now for a few weeks. And I have trouble, so I came.
Yes, well, father's wisdom, certainly. My colleagues and I, who they're rummaging around here somewhere, I'm sure. We are here to help in whatever way we can. Please.
Bene. So, and he kind of ponders this thing.
Actually, I will also say to Miss Santoro, if you could you round up the others? Let them know that we have a guest.
Subito, right away.
Maybe we should get a bell, like a ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I was thinking
we've got visitors.
We need a little bell.
Need a cowbell or something. So yes, Artemisia, she'll clump up to the attic on a little tiny go-to's and knock on the door.
There with a bunch of newspapers trying to cross-reference something.
Signora Gurini,
Yes.
you have a guest downstairs. Dr. Bennett has asked you to join him in the dining room.
He's a bit sort of transfixed, looking at her hair, and then, oh, sorry. Yes, of course. And yeah,
Very good, and she'll
dusts himself
close
off
the
and
door.
heads down.
She'll head downstairs, and she will then go to the library, and she'll knock on that door. Miss Harkwell, there's a visitor for you in the dining room. And where will I find Adelaide?
I think she's kind of out in the garden, like reading the paper and having a kind of morning glass of champagne, I think, just to, start the day off, right?
Well, it's afternoon, but yes, okay. We
Yeah,
can
well,
certainly be sipping champagne all day.
Feels like morning. She's only just got up, so, still
That's true.
in a kind of glamorous kind of summer dress.
That's very true. So yes, the pixies are out flying around, but they're actually keeping out of your hair and out of your way. And Artemisia comes out to the garden. Lady Adelaide, Dr. Bennett has asked you to join in the dining room. You have a guest.
Oh, a guest. How exciting. I'll be along right away. Please do introduce me.
As you wish. So yes, Artemisia will
Follows along, yeah.
go back inside and into the dining room. So I guess everyone will come in, drips and drabs.
So Miss Hartwell will come in and she'll be like very dustily trying to make herself presentable.
Yeah, very good. And as you step in, Artemisia will go, Miss Hartwell, please take a seat. And as the Lady Adelaide and Savino does, she also introduces them and encourages them to take a seat. And then she will leave you to it. So for the rest of you, you see this gentleman. He's in his mid-30s. He's got his hat in his hand that is kind of worrying. He's got a faded yellowing linen shirt with a vest on. There's a little neck scarf as well. Pants, like thick corduroy or thick drill pants, and there's boots. He's not affluent, he's not rich, but they're certainly reasonably well-made clothes.
So, have you been in Venice long?
Scusa, I live in Carpendo, which is 10 kilometers from Venice. I don't come here often, but the Villa of the Lights was here and I needed your help.
Well, we'll certainly try and help you. What's the problem? What's been happening?
My son, Matteo, he's 5 years old, but something's happened to him. Something's changed. Maybe almost 2 months now. He was a good child. He is a good child. He is a good child. He's a good boy. He's lovable and he follows me around with my work everywhere I go. He is a good boy. But 2 months ago, something happened. Matteo now doesn't want to talk to us. He's sad, he's angry, moody, sullen. He's been having nightmares. He's talking to things that aren't there. And even wets the bed.
When it started, were you, did he have a fall? Were you out in the country? What happened?
I'm a baker. We live in the country. We mill flour, we make bread. That's what we do. No, Matteo hasn't had a fall. He's always with me. I don't understand what's happened. The priest, we asked the prete for some help. And the priest thinks maybe Matteo's been possessed. And He wants to do a what do they call it?
Exorcism?
That's it. He's only 5. Even the prete say he's too young for this. But something's wrong.
Other changes in the household. I mean, sometimes the slightest upset can seem to have changed a child's personality.
No, Senora. We live in the house with my wife. We have workers that come in every day. We get up at 5, we mill the flour, we make the bread, we bring it to market. Every day at Lo Stesso, it's all the same. Nothing has changed.
No change in the workers? No new workers been hanging around, or an old one left? Or
No, it's all the same.
What about education? Does the boy get some kind of education?
What we can afford. He gets some. He goes to school. But to
No
my
issues
knowledge,
at school? Children picking on him?
I can't tell you that. I don't know. Matteo won't tell us what's wrong. He just won't really talk to us anymore.
Dr. Bennett, do you think this could just be some childhood illness, perhaps? You know, these rural types can be superstitious.
As I said, any help would be.
Anything else unusual happen that, you know, makes you think you should consult us?
Other than the priest saying he thinks the boy's possessed. I can fix many things. The children are bullying him, I can fix that. If my workers have hurt him, I can fix that. If he's ill in some respects, I can fix that. I can't fix a possession. I don't even understand it.
Quite. You mentioned he's speaking to things or people or something that you can't see. Have you heard what he is saying, or has he referred to these hallucinations, imaginary friends?
He just keeps saying things like, be quiet and leave me alone. That's not true.
I see.
It is most odd. And it makes no sense to me.
And I think at that, Mr. Bennett's like sort of Dr. Bennett is giving everyone else a little bit of a look of having had a similar experience, as I'm sure we all have. And then just sort of turning back to him and saying, well, yes, very well. We could come to speak to him. You could bring him here. What would be more
so,
convenient?
Miss Hartwell, we may be best to defer to your experience with children here. Is there some insights you could give?
Child does not wish to speak of what troubles them to the father. Perhaps it is useful for somebody else to speak to them.
Do go easy on them, Nanny. Spare him the strap.
Oh, hush, Adelaide.
Yeah, but it didn't spare Adelaide the strap.
Indeed.
Although Adelaide's youth may be useful here, perhaps if she chatted with him.
Yeah.
Sound like there may be things that Adelaide perhaps has in common with the child.
Not sure quite what you mean, but I'm happy to talk to the young fellow.
So if you'll come, you will come and see us?
Certainly.
Oh,
Is train the best way to get there, or?
grazie, grazie. You will need to catch the train from Venice to Mestre, and then carriage to Carpendo. But come tomorrow morning. It's too late now. Come in the morning.
Very good, very good.
And I will pay you for your services, of course. What I can, I will pay you.
Most generous. Do you have lodgings for the night, or would you like to stay here with us this evening?
No, I have to go back home. But thank you.
Very well. Well, travel safe, and we shall make our arrangements and see you on the morrow.
Take some cheese for the road.
Cheers.
Ah, bellissimo. Bellissimo idea. So, yes, he will grab a lump of parmesan. Parmigiano. And slip it in his pocket. Thank you. He picks up his hat again and thank you so much. And yeah, Artemisia will guide him to the door and usher him out.
Seeing things that others can't see. Perhaps he's equally afflicted or gifted, I suppose we should be saying now.
Or something could be playing tricks on him. Either way, we should have a look and make sure.
It may even just be a child's vivid imagination. I imagine the boredom he must feel is extreme.
Or perhaps he has attracted something to himself by no fault of his own.
Severino will cough and look down awkwardly.
Is there anything you want to do to prepare? Like research?
Yeah, I feel like Adelaide would want to, make know of any wineries that are worth visiting nearby, perhaps, or
Oh my god.
She's amazing.
Can't think of anything else worth investigating. Just...
I'm thinking.
Might as well make the most of it if you're going to travel out to the country,
I'm thinking creatures that are like interested in wheat or grain or baking and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Something about the fruit of the land, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
The local fae. Just
Mm.
what exactly? Who exactly is native to that part of Italy?
Interesting, isn't it? And actually, Severino, as you kind of have these thoughts, and do you articulate these ideas?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you kind of get a dark, twisted stab of anxiety coming from the very, very pit of your stomach.
Okay, I'll probably shake a bit and just sort of grab the chair to reaffirm myself.
Yep. And then it kind of settles back and blends back into normal.
Do we notice that?
Probably.
Are you okay, Mr. Gavarino?
Yes, it's just something familiar. I want to get into the library and try and piece some things together here.
Okay. Is that where we're going to go?
I think so.
Sounds as good as ever. What's the servant's name again?
Artemisia.
Artemisia.
Oh,
Please
Bishop.
serve refreshments in the library. We'll retiring upstairs for a moment.
Oh, of course, Lady Adelaide. Gotta use it and abuse it while you got it.
And she's always got it, so she just takes it for granted.
So yes, Artemisia will make sure that you are well stocked for a night of research.
Yep.
Okay. Let's do this. So, just so you kind of get your head around Vaesen mechanics. You go in the library and you usually roll learning to see what you can find. You ask your questions, and if it's relevant, you get some answers. If it's not, you find it hard to find things. So the bonus is it arms you for what happens next. It gives you ideas of where to go, on how to deal with the problem, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah. Cool. So you go to the library, and yes, the food platter comes with you, and all the olives. She makes sure you're well fed. Put it that way. That corset ain't gonna stay that tight for very much longer. Adelaide, I can
Oh,
tell
Adelaide
you.
only really picks at it, to be honest. She's very, very aware of her her body. Don't worry.
Yeah, I bet.
It's more just about making sure everyone's well cared for and
Yep.
the right hospitality.
Yeah. I'll say to the maid, you're welcome to sit and have some if you want, but we're probably going to be here a while.
That's your Savino. Much obliged. She'll leave the room, but yeah, she seems thankful for your invite. Library is yours, ladies and gentlemen. What would you like?
Local, histories or bestiaries, that's the word, if there is any to be found.
Yep. Savino, what do you look for?
Yeah, I'm looking via beast, which ones are related to wheat and grain and fruits of the land and stuff. So I'm not looking for a region, I'm looking for what they're interested in.
Mm-hmm. Adelaide, are you looking or are you observing?
I feel like she's kind of just browsing through the library, sort of somewhat at random. So looking just for any interesting facts, especially just anything interesting about the local area and her kind of touristic eye that she has.
Yep. And Dr. Bennett.
Yeah, I think looking for anything that would particularly target a young child or a young boy. There's the parents and workers. Why, if something has attached itself to this child, why the child?
All right. Let's give me some learning rolls, please. That's what we can find. Nice. That's 2 successes for Dr. Bennett, 1 success for Adelaide, 2 successes for Hartwell, and 0.
Not good.
All right, so the grand successes of them all. Dr. Bennett. So Adelaide, you're looking for things that are local to the area that may fit that footprint of what was described to you. With 1 success, you find a book, and it's actually really well written, and it's in English. Bonus. And you flick through it. Yeah, it's well researched, it's well versed, and it talks about geography, especially of northern Italy, and like all the spirits and things associated with it. But despite your best efforts, you can't find anything that matches exactly what is captured there. But there is a footnote. I wouldn't say a footnote. There is a thread throughout the whole text saying that not everything is geographically linked. Some things are global. So, which would make you think that something with this presentation could be a global issue.
So more like types of spirits that are endemic to the region rather than just this particular town. I think like they could be anywhere in Italy. It
could be anywhere around the world. That's what that book is saying. Like there's
like you might sort of say, yes, you might see, this animal, but you'll also see the common magpie kind of equivalent. Kind of thing,
Yeah. So unfortunately, you can't find anything specifically geographically linked to the area that fits your footprint. So you're looking at something that's a bit broader. Bennett, what were you looking at again? Sorry.
Something that would target a child or a young boy.
Okay. So you got 2 successes. There are lots of books that talk about spirits and entities and demons, and there's a plethora of things where children are the target. Like St. Nicholas is probably your most benign of them. La Befana. They're everywhere.
You say St. Nicholas.
It's not St. Nicholas, I'm telling you now.
I'm writing it down. Saint Nicholas. Question mark.
Bad. So unfortunately, it's too broad a question, but you do have 2 successes, which is really helpful to you, because similar to what Adelaide's pulling out, whatever's attacking this child isn't a regional thing, but it could be a lot of things. It could be, yeah, as I said, a creature, a beast, a spirit, an entity, a demon. They're usually the 4 big culprits.
And it doesn't point to any one of those particularly, like.
No, it's too broad, unfortunately. So you have to.
Is that like? Can I retroactively refine it slightly? Because one of the things the child said was that's not true. So is there anything about, I don't know, creatures that, like, I don't know, revel in telling truths or revealing secrets or even harassing their target, I guess?
Not necessarily telling truths, but harassing their targets, yes.
Okay.
Yes, there's a creature with this particular footprint, or I should say symptoms, if you will, comes up to a possession. That's what the book is telling you. If someone presents with these symptoms, it's most likely they're possessed by something. They're being haunted by something that is whispering to them, trying to make, cloud their mind, trying to sway them.
Would we get any sense of like the suggestion of the church, like with that? Could we look into like, is that an efficacious suggestion? Like the priests, we could do an exorcism to get this. Like, is that something that we'd have any faith in?
Perhaps, but you'll have to do another roll for that one.
Or more likely, a broken clock being right.
twice a day. Severino, what was your question again?
Is it like attracted to wheat and grain and fruits of the land and stuff? Is it?
Yeah, that's right. And we said no because you rolled a 0, but that's okay. So no, you weren't successful. And Agatha?
I was looking for kind of a bestiary of the area.
So pretty much same thing that Dr. Bennett, in very similar respects, was looking at. And so, yeah, with your double success, you two both kind of veer towards a possible possession or a haunting circumstance. So do you want to do another learning roll to have a bit more?
Everyone, or?
Yeah. If that's what you go to research, you would look at.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll have a look into, the whole sort of exorcism angle. Like, is there any documented cases of that working for people?
Believe it or not, well, you can find some general information. So exorcisms have been done for a very, very, very long time. It is also, however, a very heavily prescripted thing to do by priests. They have to be specially trained. And a lot of those rituals and that training is conducted in secret. So while it does exist,
you just have sort of like maybe fractured accounts that are more sort of rumor than anything useful. Yeah.
What about how to detect it? I guess prove it. Do I go there and throw salt at the child?
All right, give me a roll. Give me a roll.
Force him to eat bread.
Okay. All right. So as the clock ticks down, it's getting a little bit late into the night by the time you get to this. But you start to pull out some information, and you guys are now all kind of working together on this. You've got your table is just strewn with books and pieces of paper, and pens and inkwells are going everywhere as you're scribbling down notes and trying to consolidate snippets of information from over here and over there and over there, and trying to understand and pull it together into some sort of conclusive mass. Now, you've never done this before. This is very much a foreign thing for you. A, working together. B, this whole new world is mind-blowingly different. So it's going to take you a while, but you start to draw some facts, and I use those words very, very loosely. But as you go looking at possessions and hauntings, hauntings is more an external creature tries to sway or change a person's behavior or, affect a person from outside, whereas possession is more about something internal to you, taking over and controlling a person's mind or body. And those are traditionally done, demons, condemned souls, ghosts, spirits, deities, take your pick. But these sort of events have been occurring throughout the globe ever since ancient times. Like, there are records of them from ancient Babylonia all the way up to apparently today. So it's a global phenomenon. You kind of also realize that a lot of these events seem to come to their own natural end once something has been achieved, like something that the spirit or possessing entity wants achieved. Once it's done, it goes away. Its mission is completed. Where that doesn't happen, where that spirit lingers and causes ongoing issues, then it requires more drastic measures. And that is where not just exorcism, but similar sort of rituals then come into play. And it depends on where you are as to what ritual is used to banish the spirit. So, it's
time and figuring out what this thing wants is sort of key to fixing it to reduce harm on the child.
It can be. That may make it go away. But you also realize that you can do some things to actually banish the spirit or even destroy it. So you don't have to help it finish its mission. You can find out what it is, identify it, and then figure out how to kill it. So, yeah, you have options.
And do these banishment rituals, how do they leave the host at the end?
Fine. Well, once the spirit leaves the host's body, the host will usually recover, provided they're not so far gone that they can't. Like if they're, yeah.
No leeches then, Doctor?
Oh, it's early days. Slaps a bag of leeches I carry around with me at all times.
So yeah, as you go through, and so a person could be possessed through inanimate objects, like they've got a whole mythology from the apples. Like, apples were considered to be a thing of possession with their links to Adam and Eve.
Apples,
Because they were associated with the devil and frequently considered to be a vehicle for demon possession. But it could also be used to drive one off. The djinn, if someone is possessed by a djinn, it can be rebuked and informed it's broken the laws of Allah, and that would banish it. The Hindus believe that using copper coins, giving sweets, and blowing cow dung smoke is enough to drive off a spirit possession. So you just have to find... I did my research, baby. So, yes.
I have a talent that might be useful. I can pass a learning test to establish truths about places and phenomena in the game. So I would like to know if there has been any recorded cases of possession within this area. Like, historically, anything comes up in the society's archives.
Yes, there has been 3 or 4 over the last 300 years that the society has been here. So yes, they are rare. They don't happen very often. You going to look at them?
Yeah.
Yes. So in this respect, it seems this was 2 different entities. One was a ghost that was haunting his sister after he died, and it was eventually found that she killed him. But in the meantime, he had haunted her to the point where her mind had snapped and she lost all sense of her faculties and she never recovered. So there was that one there. And it took the society members quite a while to figure out that was the cause.
The likely culprit in this case.
I'll leave that to your astute reasoning. And the other event occurred almost 200 years ago, where an entity infected a butter churn, and the butter that was made out of it made people ever so slightly mad. So people were spreading on, a bit of butter onto their toast, and they weren't going insane or anything. They were just like nitric oxide, laughing gas, mad. They just had the giggles, and it was really unusual. And they banished it. They took the butter churn once identified what was causing it. They took the butter churn and threw it into a fire pit, and the spirit that possessed it went away, and the butter churn was destroyed, and everyone went back to normal.
That is so very Control, the video game. If anyone's played that, the haunted butter churn is just classic. That would be it's fantastic.
Child is not a butter churn, and one always hopes to not burn people at the stake to remove possession.
So, yes. But because you've done some research, you all get a +2 dice for any one roll regarding things like possessions and spirits and whatever. So keep that up your sleeve, and you can deploy that whenever you wish. Very good. So it's now quite late at night. It's probably, dare I say, very early morning. What are you doing?
Early morning.
Like 1 o'clock.
Well, sort of. I think there's a certain late night salon that I can still go around to see if there's anything happening. Get my carriage and head over.
There's no carriages in Venice. You are walking.
Oh, sorry. Get a gondola.
You can get a gondola.
Yeah.
Yep.
Head on over there.
See you
The
later.
advantages of being out on the continent is they do like to party rather late, which is I'm enjoying being here.
Yep. Fair enough. And the rest of you oldies?
In bed, of course.
Where every civilized person should be. Yeah, cool.
Keeping
All right,
country hours instead of town ones.
You'll be heading into the country tomorrow, so it's probably not a bad idea. All right.
Could get rather droll. You sure don't want to join me for enjoy a good life.
Oh, man. You know it. All right. I think we'll leave that for tonight. And we'll pick this up next session. So thank you, Jim, Jared, Blake, and Sharon. And we'll see you next session. Ciao.
Bye.